From the towering peaks of the Woolajezi Mountain in Lofa County to the golden plains of Bomi River Basin, through the verdant greens of the Sapo National Park, a place where monkeys whisper secrets and pygmy hippos tread unseen, from the valleys to the roaring coasts of Monrovia, Buchanan, Harper, and Robertsport. These are the voices that travel unfiltered, uncaged, and unstoppable. Welcome to the Liberian Voices Unfiltered, the platform where we speak the languages of the land, celebrate the cultures of our people, beat the drums of our tribes, and dance to the rhythms of our identity. This platform is more than just a broadcast. It's a movement, a megaphone for the people. No scripts, no sugarcoating, no stage management, just the truth, pure, bold, and proudly Liberian. Tune in, turn up the volume, and join your host, George Senator Sibo, the Pan-Africanist, shaking the mic, breaking the silence, and speaking for the nation and its people. The Liberian Voices Unfiltered. All hail, Liberia hail. It is raw, it is real, it is authentic. From the bushes to the beaches, this is our voices, our truth, and our story. It must be heard.
Yeah, you tune into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people, and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise. From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mask, no crown. Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say, unfiltered voices paving the way. Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Yeah, we tell it how it is.
Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
The people's mic, the nation.
Liberian Voices Unfiltered. From Lofa to Cape Mount, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Your story, your power, your sound.
Voices Unfiltered. Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Your story, your power, your sound.
Healthcare, education, we go discuss. From clinics to classrooms, who can we trust? Social justice, human rights, we shine in truth like city lights. Public policy, rule of law, building Liberia strong and raw. Trade and commerce, business flow, empower the people, help us grow.
So what we talking about?
Who we talking for?
The people shattered.
Unfiltered minds, unfiltered dreams, telling our stories by any means. Culture and faith, we rise above, united in truth, united in love.
Our voices echo across the sea. Liberia strong, bold and free.
Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Liberian Voices Unfiltered. The people's might, the nation's mirror. Unfiltered. Tazewell to Kakata, Hapa to Bongo. We talking real, we talking stronger. Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Story, your power,
Liberian Voices Unfiltered. Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
your story, your power, your sound.
Politics, peace talks, power and pain. Who gains, who loses, we call the names. Youth rising, leaders in motion. We stirring truth like a wave in the ocean. From diaspora dreams to the homeland cry.
Okay, let me set this microphone a little bit. Good evening, fellow Liberians. Good evening, my people, my fellow listeners, wherever you are, how well you are listening, on whatsoever device you are using. Let me use this opportunity to say again, welcome to the platform Liberian Voices Unfiltered, the platform where we speak the truth because we are not dependent on anyone for our paycheck. Our names are not in their offices. We don't care what they do. All we care about is Mama Liberia. Our job is to provide information, to provide education, and to inform our public, the general public, on happenings in Liberia. We are mainly concerned about Liberia. We don't care about what happened in any other place. We only use other countries as a reference, but Liberia is our common denominator. So it is incumbent upon us that have the ability to speak on national issues. We that have this kind of platform to be able to talk about issues concerning Liberia, to provide relevant information that is very, very important and very, very useful to our listeners, to every Liberian in and around Liberia. So today, when you have, if you are fortunate to look at our platform earlier, you could see that we provided a topic. So today we'll be talking on three topics, but we will narrow it down because we focus mainly on trending national issues. So our first topic on the discussion will be talking about government creating parallel institutions. Is there a strategy or is there a way of creating jobs or making your bully or your colleagues to get job in government at the detriment of taxpayer, at the detriment of people, innocent citizens, people that are paying taxes and people that are unemployed? You're creating a parallel institution. That is, parallel institution means that creating two institutions that are performing similar job. You got two people, you give them two different names, but they are performing the same job. So that is one of the topics we're going to be talking. And we're going to focus on, for the sake of time, we're going to focus on, for parallel institutions in Liberia, we're going to focus on two main areas. We're going to focus on the Yellow Machine Board that was established and headed by Brandon Samuka. We're going to look at the Yellow Machine Board of Authority that was established. We're going to look into that. And we're going to be comparing it to that of public works. When you look at the job functions, and we're going to be showing you comparison. We did a comparative analysis. You're going to see that the functions is almost the same. So why create an institution when you have another one? Is it that you're trying to find job for Brandon Samuka and your friends and other people, or why couldn't you just empower public works? If you bought a Yellow Machine, you could use public works to carry on the job. But why you have to create another institution? And they are talking about they need something around $3 to $4 million so that they can get situated. That is office payment, $4 million from the national budget. Between $3 to $4 million. That's a lot of money that could be used for other reasons, especially now that we are having the challenges with this big challenge with let me get my stuff on there. Sorry, something fell. I had to pick it up. Yes, especially we are having this challenge with our border situation, taking $4 million out of the national budget to allocate it for a new entity that an existing entity can still perform that function. So why are you creating a parallel institution? Why are you creating another entity if public works can still use the same machine? So we will be looking into that. And our next topic, we're going to focus on youth unemployment crisis. We're going to be talking about this government, looking at the way things are proceeding. You think unemployment crisis, you think they're going to be able to address it? Because now we're almost the halftime now. We're in a halftime now. You know, for those of you that play football or any sport lover, when they say halftime, you should know what we're talking about right there. So the government is in the second half of the game, going in the second half of the game. So why you think is going to happen? You think the issue of youth unemployment, you think it's something they're going to be able to address? You think they're going to focus on that? They're going to create jobs that they promise in their campaign promises? Promise that will create jobs for the youth? You think that it's something they're going to do? So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to go back to our main topic, the Guinea-Liberia border situation. We're going to be looking at if there's anything have changed. And we'll make reference to the press conference that was held today from the Ministry of Information, the regular press briefing, where they brought in security, the security apparatus, the security institutions. I saw the Minister of National Defense, I saw the Chief of Staff, and I saw the Liberian National Police head. All these people were present there. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So please share the live, invite your friends, give your comment when necessary. And right after our theme song, like I always like to play the theme song, we will delve straight into the discussion. I don't want to keep you here for too long today. I'm going to be a bit dwarfed. Let me use that word, dwarfed on each of the topic. But it's a very important thing that we are all alive today. We can see one another. We are grateful that our country is it moving on? Is it stagnated? So those are things that we need to be looking at. Those are national concern issues. So we'll talk about that. So right after the theme song, please share the live on your Facebook page. You can also subscribe to our Facebook page, Liberian Voices Unfiltered. We have a YouTube channel, Liberian Voices Unfiltered, and we also have our TikTok and Instagram, our Instagram channel. So you can subscribe to any of them. You'll be seeing this information flowing there. And, invite your friends to the live, share it on your screen, invite your friends to follow it. We have some great information that we're going to be sharing here today. So right after the theme song, we will get right back to this.
Yeah, you're tuned into the heartbeat of Mama Liberia, where truth meets the people and every voice is heard. This is Liberian Voices Unfiltered.
Oh, we're speaking truth tonight. Liberia, let your voices rise.
From the streets of Monrovia to the hills of Nimba, we're bringing light where the truth's been hindered. Politics and power, let's break it down. We talk the real, no mask, no crown.
Economy shaking, but we still stand tall. Business and trade, we can uplift all. From the youth to the elders, we all gotta say. Unfiltered voices paving the way.
Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, we tell you how it is, no filter. Liberian voices, unfiltered. The people's mic, the nation's mirror. From Lofa to Cape Town, we talk the truth that really counts. Liberian voices, unfiltered. Yeah, you're tuned into the.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to our section. Like I said, I won't be keeping you guys here for so long today. I will just discuss the issue quickly. And then for the border issue, we can take a little time on it because it is very paramount. It is important for our sovereignty. It is important for our peace and stability. And so looking at our first topic here, we're talking about government creating parallel institutions. So we saw President Bouaka appointing commissioning a new board called the Liberia Yellow Machine Board of Authority. And then I saw that he appointed Brandon Samuka, a criminal and a convicted felon, to that position of the title was given him was executive chairperson or national coordinator. So my question is, like I said, we're going to be focusing on two of them. We'll focus on the Yellow Machine Commission and the Public Works. Why you create Yellow Machine Commission if you have Public Works? So are you trying to tell me that you don't trust Public Works to manage yellow machines? Because the job function, and I'm going to be showing the job function. I'm going to put on the screen. You're going to see the job function is parallel. It's the same. So why create another institution and then employ people there, your bullies, your friends, people that maybe supported you in the campaign? You're trying to create jobs for them. And they are requesting up to $3 to $4 million to set up that commission. A Public Work could just do that. Even if you don't want to use Public Work, you could use the engineering department of the Armed Forces of Liberia, the engineering department, the engineering battalion of the Armed Forces of Liberia. The AFL has an engineering battalion that has the technical know-how, that has the expertise. They have they have the skills. Maybe we will need to beef them up in terms of manpower, because we know the strength of the military is not large. So when you bring in all those equipment, you don't have to go create a parallel institution. You don't have to go and start creating new ones that will perform the same function that the other one will perform. And we see that happening in this government a lot. We are seeing it happening in Joseph Walker government a lot. You creating one institution when another one already existing. Now, look at another parallel institution that was created again. You created, look at LACE. I know that one was not on something. LACE is performing, LACE is called the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment. LACE is performing the same function as the National Housing Authority. LACE building community houses. They carry on community projects, their homes, development, other stuff. That's supposed to be done by the National Housing Authority. So why is government creating parallel institutions all in the country in the name of creating jobs? I don't think that is a strategy. I think that's a wasteful means. Because when you create this commission, they need to have an office space, which you'll be spending a lot of money on to create office space. You also be in bringing in people that you be paying a lot of money. You get executive director, you get all these other presidential appointees position. None of them make nothing less than $5,000, and we all know that. None of them make nothing less than $5,000. So when you multiply that, so why is the government creating parallel institution instead of to waste taxpayer money, to take taxpayer money and give it on people that you feel that, oh yeah, they are your colleagues, they are people that supported you? It doesn't make sense. Look at the Ministry of Transport. You took the function of the Ministry of Transport and give it to another entity that you call, I don't know, LT, what. You took this function of them and give it to, what other way Ministry of Transport do other than driver lesson, vehicle registration, vehicle inspection? What other work they really got to do? So if you take the function from the Ministry of Transport, you give that function to another entity. So the people of the Ministry of Transport, what do they do? So they go to work, get nothing to do, but they get paid. And then you still have to take care of the functioning of the entity, even though they are doing nothing. That is called wasteful spending. It's not a strategy. It's wasteful spending. So, or is it because somebody somewhere have given you a cut, giving someone a minister, someone a government official a cut, so that the entity can survive, so they can bring in a new parallel entity. So because of that, you are sidelining the mainline entity, the mainline institution that's supposed to perform the job. You sideline them and you bring in another entity. So the people of the Ministry of Transport are not doing nothing. Public Works, again, on the other hand, is responsible for road rehabilitation, for road assessment, for road development, farm to market road development. Now you take in public work function, you're giving it to Yellow Machine Board. Public work function is being given now to Yellow Machine Board. So on paper, public work function is there, but the real job will be executed by the Yellow Machine Board. So you're instituting new institution that will go and do public work job, when you could just empower public works. Or better say, for accurate and perfect management of those equipment, you could provide, you could turn over those equipment to the engineering department, the engineering battalion of the Armed Forces of Liberia. And I can tell you that you are going to see perfect management of those equipment. You are going to see accountability, because you know the military will base their work on accountability. All you need to do, you could use the AFL now, but increasing the strength of the military, you will train more people, you send some of them to the engineering department. You can recruit engineers, graduate engineers, you can recruit sophomores and a junior students or senior students from the university. You recruit them in the engineering department that are working in engineering area and phases. And those skills and talent that they have could be used to build your farm to market road. Because I will tell you today, the Yellow Machine Board that you have established, what are they going to do? What are they going to be doing? They're going to be building roads. You have the engineering department of the Armed Forces. People that data back to Liberia, go back to our Armed Forces of Liberia. Those guys were responsible to build bridges. Look at when you go to some of those bridges that are connecting town and villages, you will see constructed by the armed forces of Liberia. Go look at some of those bridges. You see they are constructed by the armed forces of Liberia. Because the armed forces of Liberia has both. They have engineers, vertical and horizontal engineers. So vertical engineers are the ones that are responsible for building constructions. They build buildings, vertical, they can build that. They build bridges. Horizontal has to do with the road. So they can build roads. The Armed Forces of Liberia Engineers Battalion know how to use the yellow machine to build farm-to-market roads. They can do that. Even when West come to West, if they will need little more training in area of asphalt pavement or rear concrete road or overhead bridges and things, you can just send them back to school. And the advantage that will give us as a nation is that you don't have to go be paying concession companies plenty of money to go and to come and sign new contract for roads. You don't have to go and be looking for new contractor to come and build roads. Just empower the engineering department of the Armed Forces of Liberia. They can perform that job. Or you empower the Ministry of Public Works. There is no need of bringing or creating a yellow machine board. You are duplicating functions. You are duplicating functions within government. And it's taxpayer money that we have that has been used to pay those people. And the good thing is the youth are unemployed. We have a lot of unemployed youth. But I will tell you today, Public Works can still employ people to take care of the yellow machine, right? If you put it on Public Works. So there were two fronts that you could benefit from. You are going to have technicians, heavy earth moving equipment drivers, maintenance technicians, and other engineers. Public Works are going to be hiring new workforce to work on those machines. But if you go ahead and establish a new entity, remember establishing anything new is expensive. You're going to start talking about paying brand new staff heavy money. Especially you're going to start talking about executive director, deputy executive director, all those people that bunch of money. But if you put it on Public Works or you put it on the Armed Forces of Liberia Engineering Battalion, you don't have to go and start hiring director. They want no. The Armed Forces already have a structure for those things. All you need to do, provide a little more allowances to them, which will be far less than the money you take to start giving to criminals, Brandon Samuka as salary. I don't understand why people like Samuka, you guys are still giving them credence in Liberia. Samuka is a criminal. He's a convicted criminal. He's a felon. He should be treated as such, not to be glorified in the form of giving another, putting over $200 and something million worth of equipment. So instead that you guys are glorifying people that are harming our country, and then you are turning your back on patriots, on people that wants to do great for the nation. Why should people like Brandon Samuka surface back in government? Why should they come back to government? Samuka should have been. That's why one of our colleagues posted on social media talking about Unity Party doing business with Brandon Samuka. That's the form of glorifying people that have committed harm to the country. I agree with him on that. And on his Facebook post, I commented. I say, brother, it's a good thing that you have just said. Why it is true that we don't want to see this kind of guys surfacing back in government? Those guys supposed to be in prison, supposed to be in jail. Some guys, they are criminal. They stole the armed forces money. Some guys and her colleagues, they stole the money. They ate the armed forces money. Those guys should not be walking in the street and moving around. What they did had the propensity of creating crisis. In case the military was to revolt for their money. If the military are going to come on the street and say they're revolting or they go and take over government because of Samuka's singular actions, your colleagues' actions, it would have led to a bigger problem in Liberia. So sometimes we see things and we overlook it, but those things has the ability, has the propensity to graduate into something big. Look at our border situation today. The government is taking the light. I will get back to that one. But see why it can lead to. Those are the situations we've been talking about. The government had no business bringing men, a criminal like Brandon Samuka, back to government. Why are you bringing Brandon Samuka back to government? Of all the good people that supported United Party, all the other people that supported, that paid money, that was part of the campaign, that only Samuka needs you to bring back to government, and you come in to entrust people that Samuka with a $200, almost $300 worth of equipment for the government. What we expect? Start selling some, start using some for your own purposes, taking it to Lofa so you can clean the place, and then he use it for campaign as a campaign machinery for his senatorial bid. But like I said, when my colleague posted that on social media about the government doing business with Brandon Samuka, I said on his post, we all have been, I'm one of the big critics of him because he's a criminal. I don't like criminal. People, when you see you are a rogue, you should be treated like a rogue. He's a common criminal. And his action is bigger than any other actions because he did that to the armed forces. He didn't do that to people carrying computers. He didn't do that to people carrying pen in their hands or carrying APA on their arm. He did that to people carrying guns, people carrying arm and ammunition with them. Those are the people that he affected. And those are the people that have the ability. Those are people that have the power to take over government when they are agitated, when they are angry. Samuka feared no evil. He went about and did that. And the court, the Supreme Court of all courts, which is the final arbiter of our justice system, said he was guilty. So he's a criminal. And that's a criminal offense. So we should refer to people like Brandon Samuka as a criminal. They are criminal. They should be treated like criminal. So when my colleague said the government was doing business with Samuka, I frowned on it. I said that was not a good idea. But I reminded him. I said people like Samuka then came back in the picture because President George Weah pardoned him. President George Weah had no business pardoning people like Brandon Samuka. What was he looking for? Was it a political favor? Was President Weah looking for a political favor, or what was he really looking for? And I would say he was not looking for political favor much because it was after the elections. He had already lost. So why would he go back and pardon President Brandon Samuka that have created a grievous damage to our country? Our military situation today, the armed forces of Liberia, it is what it is today, in a deplorable condition, in a condition that is not sophisticated enough to defend our country, in a position that is not enough in terms of manpower strength, due to the actions and inactions of people like Brandon Samuka. When Samuka then was Minister of National Defense, they said the Lord, they were gods. Nobody could tell them what to do. Nobody could order them. They ran that ministry like gods. Like they were demigods here, that nobody could dictate to them. When they say A is A, when they say B is B, that's what makes the armed forces what it is today. That's why our armed forces have not grown. That's why our armed forces stagnated. Because you have people like Brandon Samuka that was visionless. People were seen as being smart, call him Fulbright scholar. You are only a smart man and a successful man when an institution you set up is succeeding. But the institution right now cannot even defend the nation. Our institution right now does not even have the capacity to defend the nation because people like Samuka that were put in authority to head the armed forces of Liberia were visionless. They had no vision for the armed forces of Liberia. And that is very common because Samuka then they said they were in the army. How far did they go? How far did they go in the military? Military administration, zero. Isn't that wartime buga army we're talking about? In a war, when you promote yourself, go and say you major or you don't want. No. In a conventional war, I'm not saying that Samuka is not a smart man. He's a smart man. But sometimes he uses smartness to do foolishness, to steal. That's why he uses smartness for. He don't use the smartness to better institution that he works for. No, he don't do that. And now we are seeing the armed forces of Liberia is the victim of Samuka's circumstances, of what he did in our institution. People might say, oh, but the man, yeah, he looked presentable outside. When you hear him talking on the microphone, he be like, yeah, he's an MC that knows all that he's saying, that got everything under control. But his implementation, his strategies are poor when it comes to military administration. His strategies are poor. The armed forces of Liberia right now is in the state of quagmire because of people acting like Brandon Samuka. They had no bigger vision for Liberia. They saw the armed forces as a small institution that will only be responsible to provide internal security. That is when crisis on Broad Street, they say, a police can make it, if I go there and quiet it down. That's what they saw the armed forces to be. They did not see the armed forces as a bigger institution that needed arms and ammunition, that needed military hardware, that needed sophistication. They didn't see that. They didn't see that. So I told my colleague, I said, brother, on a post, I said that was the reason why people like Samuka even have the guts to come back to politics. He's not supposed to come back to politics, but because president, we have pardoned him. When the president pardons you, he pardons your sin. Like when God forgives you, he forgives your sin. So you go back on a clean sheet. So people like Samuka now, 2029, you see Samuka on the ballot paper running for a senatorial position. I'm telling you, because he's been pardoned. People might argue, some legal scholars might argue that his pardon does not say prevent him from being a criminal. Well, that's another thing for debate. The Supreme Court have to interpret that. But I will tell you today, back to the topic of government creating parallel institutions, you don't need to create institution because you want to give people the Samuka, Brandon Samuka, then job. Samuka have wallowed. You are defense minister for 12 years. Those guys wallow in the corridors of power for how many years? So they got nothing else to do. On the government job, they can survive on. They can't, their own business, they can't run it. Their businesses is breaking down everywhere. So without government, they can't survive. That is just the picture that these kind of guys are showing to us. That they can't survive without government. They can't create something of legacy to themselves. He got a security firm. Why he can't go manage a security firm? He got other businesses around. Let him go and manage those ones. He don't have to come back to government. He's a convicted felon. The president of all presidents should stay far away from people like Brandon Samuka. But you go and put it over, because the yellow machine is considered the newest sensation. It's the new national cake that we have. You put a convicted felon, like in person of Brandon Samuka, in charge of it. And you created a parallel institution because you want to certify a convicted felon like the Samuka. That is not good, Mr. President. That was a wrong decision. If I were you, I will record these people. I will close this board of authority. It might look shameful, but you can record this board. You get 2 places I will recommend you to put the thing on with proper supervision. That will be perfect. You can put it on the Ministry of Public Works. Public Works can hire and train engineers, can hire and train operators. That would create a form of employment. I agree to that. You could take this yellow machine and put it on the engineering battalion of the Armed Forces of Liberia, which, of course, when you come to comparison, when you come to recommendation, I would strongly recommend you put those equipment under the Armed Forces of Liberia. The engineering battalion can handle those equipment, and they will be effective in carrying on the job. And you're not going to be paying too much different money. All you need to do, train more people in the armed forces, put more people in the engineering department. You have created a job for the youth right there, and you are giving them a career. Because the armed forces will train them with a career that is good till even after their service. They can use in the civil war, in the civil world. They can use it. You see, today, some of us are surviving because we learn. When we're in the armed forces, we learn. We went to school, we acquire knowledge, we acquire education. We can stay by ourselves today, we can work in the private sector because we got knowledge, we got skills that we learn, that we acquire from the armed forces when we're there too. So the armed forces can incorporate young people, train them in that sector. But you don't have to go create parallel institution. Why are you creating another institution that is performing the same job in the Ministry of Transport? Transport Ministry, driver lessons, lesson renewal, lesson plate, vehicle inspection. But you took it from them and gave it to another institution. So what transport will be doing? So I think it's a bad idea. LIS, the Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment, LIS is performing the same function of National Housing Authority, building houses around. So why are you doing that? Is it that you can harmonize the thing and synchronize them You want a big government when you don't have the thing. Look at government wage bill. The wage bill of government is so high. Almost 75 to 80% of the budget goes on salary. So how are you going to develop the country? How are you going to develop the country? So it's a serious thing that you need to look at. And not only that, people like Senator Dara DeLong and Yomdi Kangane came up the few days with another law that was, if the president was signed, that you're going to be another parallel institution again to that of Liberia Maritime Authority, to that of the Freeport of Monrovia. How policy maker? How are they thinking? They can sleep upside down before they wake up in the morning because their thinking is so upside down. Because it is in your interest, because somebody want to give you tip. You prefer your personal tip, that that 50,000, 100,000, or 200,000. You prefer that over national interest. That is hilarious. We don't want to see that kind of thing in our country, and that's why the country is not moving forward. It's not moving forward. And down to our next something. So, Mr. President, let me wrap up on the one. You know, Brandon Samuka nomination should be withdrawn. Take that job from that guy. The guy is a criminal. He's a convicted felon. Take the job from him. Let people that Samuka know that they feel the pain for their sin. But now you just appointed the man. That means they may not even have no remorse. You will not even feel anything about what he did was wrong. What he did was wrong. He lived with that. It's not late, Mr. President. Record the job from that dude. That dude is a criminal. You don't want to entrust him with that quantity of equipment. Withdraw the job from him. Give it to somebody else. There are thousands of good people in the Unity Party or any other place in Liberia. Give it to them. You got to give it to Brandon Samuka. He's a criminal. He should be treated as a common criminal. That's how it should be. And on our next topic, the Unity Party government, President Joseph Boakai, campaign on the basis of creating jobs and empowering the youth. What is the strategy? We can't see the strategy so far. Nothing is working. If they have a strategy, then that strategy is not working. They need to go back and rethink it. Because you still have 75% of the youth are unemployed in Liberia. There is no job. And there are sectors, there are entities, there are areas that is viable for creating employment opportunity for the young people. But you're not even looking at that sector. And one of that sector is your first pillar in your arrest agenda, which is called agriculture. Look at the agriculture sector. The sector is almost like it's on life support. It's dying. Agriculture sector is dying. People that are supposed to make the institution to work, other institutions are supposed to work together with Ministry of Agriculture. It's not working. If you say your first pillar is agriculture and you allocating less than $100 million for agriculture, that means you don't even mean business. So you hope your international partner to come and give you money to support agriculture. And you know, a country that cannot feed herself, that country is very useless. There are two things I will tell you today. If you can't defend yourself, you can't feed yourself, you are useless. You are a fool, I will tell you today. And that's the kind of direction that Liberia is going towards. We are behaving like fools, that we can't feed ourselves, we can't defend ourselves. You look at people go to church, they say they got to fast and pray, yes. People praying the God of Israel should protect Liberia. Israel is using Iron Dome to protect their country from missile attack. Israel is using ballistic missiles to launch other countries to protect themselves. But you are praying to God for the God of Israel to defend you. Israel that get their God, they say defend themselves, even though their God look after them. But we only depend on God of Israel. Train people in the military, you say some, you don't want to do it. Increase the strength of the military, you don't want to do it. Increase buy equipment for the military, hardware, ammunition for the military, you don't want to do it. So where are we headed to? What are we headed to? What are we headed to? That's a wrong thing. That's a complete wrong thing. One of my colleagues said he want to join. Balapi, he want to join the link. I know he want to defend Brandon Samugaya again. And Samuga ball. But I will bring on. I will bring on. I will bring on. He want to defend Samugaya. I know that what he want to do. He left defending Samuga Bennett. Okay, let me get the link and send him the link. Yeah. Peter, come here. I will send the link to you. Can't defend Samuka. I know that what you want to do. But I will send it to you and I get a problem. Come on the show. That way for diverse views. The show is for diverse views. So okay. You bear with me 1 second, my people. I want to bring somebody else to join me so we can discuss the thing. I hope he has. But no, you don't be surprised when he can't start defending Samuka. That ball like Samuka Benita crazy. But Samuka ball now, he was the military assistant, the MA, the military assistant to Brandon Samuka. So you don't be surprised when he says something. But I'll still stand my ground. Brandon Samuka is a criminal and he remains a criminal. And he's supposed to be treated as such. No other treatment should be given him. So, as I was saying, my people, yes, there you go. You laughing?
You crazy. Why you mean? What do you mean?
I mean what I say. I mean what I say.
So, but what you say? Yeah, thank you.
People, hold on. Welcome to the show. Let me wrap on this. I will bring you. Welcome to the show. Let me wrap on this part. Yeah, so that we can go on the discussion. So, like I was saying, it is very wrong when the government is not working in the direction of creating employment for the youth. So, okay, let me just use the opportunity. People, you can chip in. We're talking on a few things here. I think you saw the topic on the discussion. So we're talking about why the government is creating parallel institutions. For example, we talk about the Ministry of Public Works, and then you created a commission called the Ministry of Yellow Machine Authority. I don't know if they're trying to get jobs to somebody else, or Public Works not capable of managing those machines, or what. I don't know. And then I was recommending that even if you don't want to give it to Public Works, what about the Unfiltered Liberia Engineering Department? You could run that. And then our next topic was on youth employment. The Unity Party campaign. The Unity Party campaign on the functions of creating jobs for the youth. Remember, we have almost 75% of the population. They are young people. But up to today, the government is in second half. We're about to enter second half. I think second half already started. We can see employment. Areas that are supposed to create those kind of good jobs and things for like agriculture, like youth and sport, we're not seeing nothing. So that is our second discussion. And then the final one will go back to our border crisis. And we're talking on it. So I have already made mention on the issue of creating parallel institutions. You can go ahead and throw some light on it. Then we can move on to the second topic.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to be here again, to be able to just throw light on some of the topic you've highlighted, especially affecting Liberia. One thing I want to say is I'm not in support of just creating unnecessary redundancy, like repeating maybe a job that's supposed to be done by one person and you give it to 3, 4, 5 person to do that one job. That's the redundancy we're talking about. And I remember some time ago, the president usually say that Liberians pretend that they're working and the government pretend that he's paying them. So when there's too many redundancy, people go to work, sit behind the computer and play Zuma all day, and after that, they take their handbag and stop to the bus stop and go back home. Unlike in America here, every day you go to work, your input on that job is being recorded. It can be, traced, it can be accounted for. But I can tell you, people go to Liberia all years, what they've contributed to, especially those in government. I don't want to talk about the private sector because because those in the private sector justify their money. Majority of the people who have government job in Liberia, they literally don't know what they're doing there. And, you know, I mean, they just there, go to where, oh my man, are going, especially where there's no clock in, no clock out time. Sometimes supervisor tell them you can come when you want to. My man just hit me up. They go to work at will, they come back at will, and all of that. So we, apart from just, I really don't want to question the creation of an independent, you know, independent, can I say, system to manage the yellow machine that is brought in the country for the various road construction projects. I don't want to question that, why it was created or why it was not created. But like you said, the Ministry of Public Works is set up for, you know, for all of that. And again, in his best wisdom, the president can decide to see the need for which he can allocate resources or how he can manage resources at his disposal based on the confidence he entrusts in people based on our track record. And so that brings me to Honorable Samuka in question. Honorable Samuka is a man of impeccable character with high level of what we call institutional growth. You know, when I talk about, yeah, when you're right, we're not coming here to agree on everything.
Go ahead,
yeah.
Disagree.
So his record can be track, right? His track records are there. I can tell you, during Honorable Samuka's time as Minister of Defense, you know, and the administration of the Ministry of Defense, the track records are there in terms of just institutionalizing the organization, right? Just the growth that he just building of leaders that he did. And everybody is liable to making a mistake. Sometimes your mistake turn out to be like it overshadow all of your good that you have done, and that is his case. He had a very good track record taking an army from a war-torn rebel faction, all right, to institutionalizing our army and standardizing our army and building it from scratch, right, with little or no resources, with little or no policy, and drafting all the policy at the same time the institution is moving. You have to give him his credit. You have to give him his credit. During his time, you can even sit down and compare. During his time, officers traveling for courses, what was the benefit they were receiving at the time? Welfare issues, how were they handled? Irrespective of the challenges that were associated with what it is, I think the older we grow, the more, you know, our life become better. But if you ask somebody in the system now that during Samuka time and current status of where we are, what would you prefer? Somebody will sincerely tell you that I would prefer Samuka.
Because
I prefer his leadership. Because
free money.
That was not free money.
Free money for the international community. America was supporting them.
How?
France, UK, everywhere were giving them free money. Samuka didn't have excess of free money.
It is your lobbying power. Even let's go to the slot, right? Let's go to slot to hire slot for school.
Yes.
It depends on how the minister is able to negotiate with foreign how do we call it? Foreign ambassadors, you know, foreign missions in Liberia, you know, just sometimes courtesy visit, sometimes visit international trip and all of that, and you're able to negotiate on bilateral arrangement. That man, I'm able to send my troops here, I'm able to. But if you look at it, no, I'm coming. I'm not here to defend somebody who has done wrong, somebody who has done right. I'm just telling you about somebody's track record, right? And I want to say we are human. We are all liable to making mistakes.
So
the money in question, you want to sit here and accuse Samuka of that money was how it was allocated. Documents were there to prove how it was allocated. But again, there's something we call for the internal purpose, and that was where I think everything went wrong. If the money was intended for the so-called benefit of AFL contribution fund, and it was used to take care of injured soldiers in combat, it was used to bury the former Nigerian general it was used to do a couple of things, which documents were there to validate all of those claims. But at the end of the day, we went back to the drawing board, or whichever court or whatever went back to the drawing board and say this was not intended for that. Government could have financed all of these things that you use these people saving to take care of. All right, so everybody is liable to mistake. So sometimes your mistake overshadow all of the good you have done. And I'm going back to tell you that the track record of Honorable Samuka can be tracked in the AFL through the leadership structure. That is, he's a builder of leaders. He makes leaders. And you can see the track record. That leadership structure is there today. The morals of the truth. You can be able to clearly determine from that. Equipment and logistics. Just a lobbying part. I can remember I'm coming. When I drop this, then I'll let you speak. I can remember the establishment of the 14 military hospital that today is being boasted of as one of the major assets of the military.
Yes.
Who initiated all those lobbies? That was through Honorable Samukai initiative with the Chinese government.
But my people stop the thing. Samukai initiated no lobby. These things were initiated.
You don't know it. You don't know it, so you cannot tell, right?
Agreement. So it was
you don't know it.
So was it Samukai?
You don't know it. So only me who know it can tell you, right? You don't know it. If you don't know it, you don't know it.
I am aware that you will come here and defend Brandon Samuka to the letter, to the core, which of course is not a strange thing. So because he's your own man. Everybody have their own man. He's your own man. Samuka is your man. Okay.
It's not matter of being my own man.
Okay. Speaking of the money,
speaking of his past record.
Okay,
did I admit to his mistake? Yes, I admitted to his mistake.
You said that
I admitted to his mistake. I said we are human. I clearly stated that money in question was used, and every area that it was used, evidence was produced to account for how it was used. But then this was the point. That money uses was not meant for that. And I would say internal purpose. That's what I use, right? If money is given you for you to buy a car and turn around and take that money and feed the house, let's say the money is given to you to transport the kids to school, to put gas in the car and take the kids to school, and you take that money and use it to buy snacks or food for that child to eat. That's where some of these things, that's exactly the scenario I'm trying to make clear to you.
And that's lack of leadership. That's lack of leadership.
What do you call lack of leadership?
It's lack of leadership because
as a commander, you are allowed to make a tentative decision. I'm coming. Yeah. As a commander, you are allowed to make a tentative decision in the available resources to make sure to impact the life and the survivability of your troops. I can tell you that. Right? If a wounded soldier was laying in Cali Hospital with no treatment, with no effective surgery, and getting rot on his bed, and a leader decided that with available resources, I'm going to make up the means to make sure the soldier is taken away from here to seek the treatment. And that look at to be like, oh, that was a foolish decision. In my own sense right here, that is not a foolish decision. That is a critical leadership decision that needed to be taken at the time.
So your job right now that you work to, if they take your money, if somebody is in the hospital, they're sick, your colleague is in the hospital, he's sick, one of your workmates, they take your money and use it for hospital bill. Would that be a sensitive way of doing things? If they take your money, your savings, they take your savings, and they say your
it is on the institution to research to keep my money back.
No,
it's on the institution.
You are not in America yet. Let us say this for the public understanding.
That's what I'm telling you. If somebody takes my benefit,
I allow you to explain. Good. Let me finish. Right. The first thing, you are in America yet. When there is savings, anything concerning savings, you sign up. You agree to save money. If you have a job, they get 401k, they get 403b, 403c, they get all those things. You, as an employee, you sign up for it. The job does not impose it on you, except the job has a one that they offer you free. The job does not impose it on you. Brandon Samuka, in fact, in the part of keeping our money, taking part of our salary to keep it, was that something that we agree upon? Did you sign any paper authorizing Brandon Samuka to keep money for you when you are in the army? Did you sign any documentation to that effect? The answer is no.
Yes,
no
yes.
officer and soldier. I did not sign paper, and I know no soldier and officer that I know. Only you, because maybe only you and he were
No. Those documents were signed by hierarchies of the army. That's why you don't know.
But
if you don't know anything, you need to ask. It was signed by hierarchies of the army. You were not even there when that deduction started.
Is that how
that deduction started when, you and I were still training in Nigeria. So when you came by default, it applied to you.
Yes.
And that was a standardized policy.
No. You're in the army here, right? I mean, you serve in the military here, or you serve in institution here. If you want to join,
you're not going to make me to compare what happened in America here with what happened in Liberia here. There's different laws, different regulations and policies that are completely different.
You cannot.
Something is a policy for an institution back in Liberia. I will not sit down and say it's applicable. You can only sit down and say best practice, right? Best practice. This should be done. But I can't sit down and say that was wrong. That was not wrong. The sole intent for contributing that money from your paycheck, it was not wrong. The money was there. That money was intended that when today you see they giving gratuity to people. That gratuity is not on paper.
So you took people can hear you. We're not hearing you.
Preach that whole life. These are the people that gratuited.
You can hear me? You are muted. Check your stuff. You are muted. So I think he have some issues. When you come back, we will do him. I see my colleagues justifying like I said, before he came online, I knew he would do that. Before the guy came online, I knew he was going to do that. I knew you were going to justify for Brandon Samuka. Check your stuff. I think something wrong with some of your connection there. Check it. I knew that he was going to be justifying for Brandon Samuka in this manner. It's not strange. There's a man at work as a military assistant, work with Brandon Samuka very closely with Brandon Samuka morning to evening. That ain't one of man in the army. And you can't blame him for that. But the fact remains, there were no documentations that were signed. No officer, no soldier can tell you that they signed paperwork. I don't know why you're talking about the money that Samuka ate. If you want to keep money for me, if you say the money you are keeping is for me, I should sign paper allowing you to keep my money. That's the first thing there. I was in the army. All of my colleagues were in the army. Nobody signed any paperwork allowing Brandon Samuka or the AFL to keep our money. So they have what kind of useless strategy they used to do. When your pay come, your full salary will come to your account. Boom. Government will release your pay come. After 15-20 minutes, then they cut the percentage off. So it will show to the government that, yes, the people receive their pay. Then he in cahoots with the bank, allow the bank to cut the money off. The money will cut off before. In America or other places, if you work and you have a compulsory saving, before your money comes to you, that saving will be removed before your money comes to you. But in Liberia, no. You will receive your pay. After 15-20 minutes, boom, they cut it off. They cut that percentage off. That's how Brandon Samuka was siphoning our money. We did not agree to keep our money with the army. He did it because I said the guy was a dictator. Then people is justifying here, saying, my colleague is justifying that slot were allotted. Yes, on the Ellen Johnson time, money flow. Money was flowing, connection was flowing from everywhere. We understand that was because Ellen connections, money flow from every sector. Money was coming in. So Samuka did not go to America to negotiate for 14 hospital. Samuka did not go to to any place to make sure that Liberian go to Nigerian Defense Academy, or so no, countries were coming in to help. So that time, that's what was going on. Samuka did nothing on the extraordinary. The people had the obligation to train up to 4,000 men for the armed forces of Liberia. How many were trained? 2,000. Honor Samuka watch. The armed forces, you went to Nigeria. Honor Brandon Samuka watch. How much was our pay? $35 per month. How can you pay an officer cadet, officer in training at the Nigerian Defense Academy in a foreign nation? You pay him $35 per month. That was Honor Samuka regime. Then you want justify that Brandon Samuka administration was better? I'm not saying that other administration today is 100% perfect. But under Samuka regime, what the armed forces are supposed to receive, Samuka is supposed to be an advocate of the armed forces. He's supposed to, because he had all the support, he had everything that he needed to push the army forward. Samuka could negotiate with countries like China that were to do him, or America, to buy a better boat, a bigger boat for the armed forces of Liberia. But Samuka will only care about putting his shoulder up. That is the Minister of Defense when he can't come and follow the plane, he might be walking all over the plane, carrying his shoulder up, and he's talking about God. That was his plan. Acting like a big boy around. Today, the armed forces cannot boast of anything. They can't boast of anything. Any country receive big money in billions. Today, all the opportunity we have to bring our armed forces up to par, we failed them. Today, the government is struggling. That's why you see today the armed forces is not going because they don't have a lot of allotment. But every time they have all of the resources, they have all of the money to make the armed forces better. Brandon Samuka was interested in his foreign travel. You travel here and there. During Samuka time, I went on courses. On courses in the army, yes. Slots were available by the American embassies, by Germany, by France, by China. There were so many slots. When we were supposed to be traveling to go to course, I came to course in America here to do my law enforcement course. Maritime boarding officer course, my maritime law enforcement course. When I was coming, how much I was giving? To come and spend 2-3 months in America, I will give you $150. Is that what officers already receive? They're not Brandon Samuka time? When an officer is going on a foreign course or a soldier is going on a foreign course to spend more than 2-3 months outside of the country, he received $150 from the AFL. And when you get to the airport, before you get to processing in the school and nothing, that money finished, you start calling family member to help you. And you are a witness to APW, you acting like you know how witness to is. And you behaving and say Samuka was perfect, Samuka was 100% okay, and everything was not going on fine. And that's not fair. I'm trying to see if I can bring you back on board. Don't feel I'm taking you off or anything. No, I'm bringing you right back. I'm just trying to see. Can you? Yeah, I'll bring you right back. You'll come and you'll complete that part of it. And then before we can move to the next topic, the unemployment thing. But I will still say before I to do, Brandon Samuka, they had the ability, they had the capacity to make the army better, to make it bigger, to make it greater. They did not do their best. Samuka was using the armed forces money to go and sponsor his campaign in Lofa County. In Lofa County, that's what you're doing. He will carry the soldiers with him to go and campaign in Lofa County. That's what you are doing. And you know that's you, but you try to hide the fact. Let me try again, see him, try to bring you on the stage and see if you'll be able to come on. Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So
yeah, so you gotta. I think you read that, right? I think, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So
I went out and came back.
Let's complete on the parallel thing.
Yeah, let's quickly hang up on this, right?
Yeah,
what I want to tell you is even if you're looking at budgetary allotment right now compared to then, you will see the difference. If you look at the impact of the impact on the life of the soldiers and their families, you will see the difference. All right, you are the only person I'm hearing from that you went for course in America.
Can I read this comment? There's a comment from a former soldier. They said there was no documentation signed for deduction of soldier money. Pee-wee is an officer and he remained committed to his officer oath, but defending officer. For our military, facing in-house issue today derived from officer depriving enlisted from growing. That is Alfred Saber. Alfred Saber. This is Alfred Saber.
That is somebody's view. I don't dive into the kind of thing. That's somebody's view. That's somebody's comment. That is somebody's comment. What I would tell you is he don't know that there were policies on all of those things. Who were signatory to those accounts and all of that. And I don't want to go through the detail of it because the detail is not for public consumption.
Let's focus on institution.
So what I want to say that is a man who has done his best, and every human being is liable to make a mistake. And if your mistake sometimes overshadow all of your good you have done, so it's left for you to come back and resuscitate, right, or reinstate your character, right? Everybody make a mistake along the line in the performance of our duty, right? In the performance of our duty as a soldier, you are allowed sometimes to take critical decisions on behalf of your troops, and you go to court. Reference can be made to Samuel Jackson if you even watch the movie Rule of Engagement, where you had to make critical decisions. I'm coming. Where you had to make critical decisions. That was just a frontline critical decision. Well, that was just a frontline critical decision. We talk about this man who did an administrative decision that he's been criticized for, he was tried for, and all of that. But I'm telling you, you will be confronted with situations. You will be confronted with critical situations that require you to make timely decisions for the sole reason of saving lives, the sole reason of prioritizing what comes first and what can be addressed as of this moment. So sometimes those decisions we made, it don't mean they are perfect. It don't mean they are perfect, right? But again, it happened. We don't need to sit down here and brag. Your view about Honorable Samuka is there. Whatever you're saying is not fact, or you might be the one affected, like you said here, that you receive $150 to go for course in America. Another officer could come and say that I went for a course and received $10,000. I went for a course and received $5,000, and so forth and so forth. So that's why we're talking about standardizing institutions. I'm coming. That's why we talk about standardizing.
It's never possible. Even the chief of
staff. All right. Why would you say it's never possible when the guy turns up officers that can attest to that? When there are documents to prove that people went to school and received up to $10,000 for that staying there, for that there are documents to prove that. So we don't want to go into it. You don't have access to it, so you're talking. You did not see it. You did not hear it. So you say what do you know? That's what you're saying. All right.
In the Mediterranean, I travel a lot. You know the coast.
I agree. For you to travel and for you to get documents for your travel and all of that, and how your travel was processed, again, is another thing that requires you to be educated about how everything goes. So I don't want to sit and tell you that you are wrong, whatever you say. But I will not even say you are wrong for saying certain things. But you have your right. You are entitled to your view.
Yeah, let's stick on the topic. I beg you, because let's stick on the topic. I agree on your view on it, but I know I was a victim, and a soldier just posted here. And you get me? Another soldier just posted here. He was a soldier, Alonso Wapo. He was in the Coast Guard. He was one of my soldiers in the Coast Guard. He said some of us left the army because of bad treatment. Yeah, right here. Alonso Wapo.
Let him define bad treatment.
You are. See, people, I know you justify everything, but it's okay.
No,
it's okay.
I'm not sitting there.
In your time when you were there,
who is sitting there defending anybody like they did wrong? And I'm saying, what is the definition of bad treatment?
Samuka did wrong. Samuka took he criminally took the arm for our money. The intention was criminal. Because I did not sign paper, you did not sign paper.
The intent was not criminal. And that was where I was going when I hang out or when I had to hang out. Yeah. I was just talking about when people started to be given gratuity recently, which those guys, gratuity is literally given to them where they would not even have taste for food. Most of them, they get our money to I'm sorry to talk about it, but they might not even use the money for themselves. It's somebody else that are going to use it, right? So this particular fund was set aside, and I know it was set aside for the sole purpose of you. Whenever you are retired, that money could be given to you in a lump sum for you to settle with while you wait on retirement benefits and other stuff to come in.
But the message Pee-wee, you see the parent that
that was the sole purpose. Maybe you don't know why it was intended for.
Pee-wee,
and that was why when that money was used to cater to WRA soldiers and all of that, and maybe dead soldiers, and to sponsor a couple of things. At the time when those things were critical,
we're not expecting you to provide misleading information to the public on this platform.
You can hang me up, but what I'm saying is the fact. What I'm saying is maybe so you should even give me the opportunity to explain, because people like you are the one propagating the misleading information.
No, I can put it in the chat. Samuka told the court during the hearing, he said he used the money to buy uniform for soldiers in Mali. That was why he told the court. He used the money
at the time. Whatever. That's why I say whatever reason that money was allocated for.
Yeah.
The sole purpose he used it for, it was not intended for it. So he trying to justify I used it to buy a uniform, where at the time it was critical troop in operation needs more than 2 sets of uniform to use. And if there was no uniform in stock, it's on him to say, okay, I can secure this, I can secure that to make sure troop remain effective in operation. So those things can be done. Again, it was not intended for it. That's not what I'm saying. It was not intended for it.
Stay
and we cannot sit down here because of that singular act. And because of that singular act, and you try to denigrate and kind of like just condemn everything a person has put into an organization that is considered one of the most respected, if not even one of the most respected institutions in the country. It starts from leadership. For AFL to be considered what it is, with almost all public confidence imposed in that institution, it starts from leadership. And where it came from, a standard was set from that top there. And that standard was maintained throughout until where we are today.
Complain every day. Up to today, during some time,
did I say that and say,
there was no officer mess. There was no enlisted mess. You came from Nigeria.
You got officer mess now?
Yes.
Where?
All the place. Right now, there's officer mess.
And I'll tell you,
there is officer mess.
I don't want to go into the detailed structure of how army is organized or not. When we come here, you just talk about somebody. I came here to tell you my own view about it. My own view about what you're talking about. All right? So, I'm not going to talk about what our officer mess, no officer mess. Those are petty things. And today I'll tell you why you talking about officer mess is being built. There's still issue of even latrine that people still face problem with. There are other issues people still confronted with. Accommodation still exists there. And budgets keep coming every year. Our budget not coming in every year. If not possible, the budget is not being increased every year. It's being increased. So the problem stay inside, they stay there, they persist there. So we should not talk because somebody built a mess and you want to look down on somebody that took an institution from scratch, build a policy, build leadership structure, and leave it organized, all because of allocating or using funds that was intended for A and decided that, B is critical. Let me try to settle B first while we see if government refund the money, while we find a way to reinstate the money back. And eventually, if we will try for it, let's just leave it, man. Let's go to different things.
Yeah, and the man was found guilty and instead justifying that what he did was right. And we all know what he did was wrong. Samuka had it. What Samuka did.
Commanders can do anything. Right? When I was over there, I was a tactical level commander. There was certain decisions I would take on behalf of my troops. Irrespective of whether me going to jail, I will be certified to go to jail. But I make that decision for the sole survivability and for
Because
the sole success of the mission, and I will have no regret about it. So me and you not even going there with that, right?
I agree. But Samuka was not a commander. Samuka is a civilian appointed by the president.
You look at administrator, the chief administrator at the time, and he needed to make decision as to how a WRA troop, a WRA soldier could be catered to, and he said you're not a commander. I agree. He was not a tactical level commander like me and you, but I will tell you, his decision, now you're sitting here complaining that his decision affected you by coming to America with $150, but he said you're not a commander. So if somebody's decision can affect you, that person got command influence on you.
The politician and his political decision was wrong.
That's why I say he was an administrator, the administrator of the organization. So what you expect?
The decision was wrong.
Some decisions require critical action and timely action. And if it is taken, if it is taken, prepare for consequence. Sometimes you take it, not mean it's right.
But today,
who you take it in their interest will see your effort. But to some people, they don't even see it. They're going to say, oh, this is who you are. And it is part of human nature. It is.
So my question now is, today the armed forces can defend themselves. Who do we blame?
Who we want to blame?
The armed forces can defend the country. Who do we blame?
Who we want to blame?
The country, they don't have the capacity. Who do we blame right now? We don't blame the party leaders.
Do you hear what the president said?
What the president said?
The president said, our discussion for peace does not mean that we cannot defend ourselves, or it doesn't indicate in any way that we are weak. Maybe you did not listen to him. You did not listen to him. Our negotiation for peace does not mean that we are in. Well, it leaves you to know what you have. But I'm telling you,
those are political rhetoric.
So why you want to say that? He said the country can defend itself. Why are you saying that one?
Because we know
the country can defend itself. The president is telling you that I am telling you I'm taking people approach to this situation not because I'm weak, and that's a fact. So what you say country can defend itself?
The armed forces of Liberia is buying, the people buying use trucks. Is that why you will call? Is that why you will call?
You don't want to know that. Me, I don't know that. I know the government decided to take a peaceful approach.
I don't come here and give false information.
I don't come here to say what you want to hear. If that don't bring me here.
No, that's why I agree with your opinion. And your opinion is your opinion.
If everybody on Spoon FM will listen to what started what Spoon is saying, then he will turn it.
And we just showing people that serve the army that are giving their points.
That's our view.
People that serve and give
that. Somebody views the fact.
These people are saying that they were affected. Only you in the whole army were not affected. According to what you're saying now. Oh, you laughing? Only you were not affected. All those that serve have been affected, but you say only you are not affected. Okay, bravo to you. So let's move on. Let's talk about unemployment. You see, you're sweating now. You see the justify lie.
Let me tell my air on, I beg you.
So justify lie. It's not easy. You'll be sweating like gold. Just continue.
Why you sweating like gold? I'm sweating.
Turn your air on. Turn your air on. I know you cold. Why you turn the air on? Turn the air on. So but let's leave that. Let's focus on our next topic. I think we'll talk about we already talked a little bit about the issue of employment. I think I talk about unemployment because time is fast spent. So let's wrap up on the border crisis, right? So let me give a few points that was mentioned today from the press briefing, Ministry of Information press briefing. So there was press briefing call. When I saw the caliber of people that was attending the press briefing, first of all, I was so happy. I think those people that were attending, I believe that it could bring good joy to the country, it could bring relief to the country by hearing from those people. I saw the Minister of National Defense, I saw the Chief of Staff, I saw the police, I saw everybody, the Justice Minister and other people. So during the brief, I was expecting to hear the Minister of National Defense or the Chief of Staff giving an update on the situation as to what was happening. But we saw other people sitting there, only to my utmost surprise, the Minister of Information came and spoke for that. He said, Justice Minister. It's the Justice Minister that gave the brief. When you talk about national defense issue that has to do with the border, that has to do with other country annexing our country, you are allowing Justice Minister to come and speak. When the Minister of National Defense is there, they not say nothing. You get the Chief of Staff there when I called the brief. I think NSA, I don't know, NSA were there. I don't know, but they were not called a brief. Justice Minister that has to do with civil thing within the country, that's the one that was called a brief. I was a little bit disappointed with that. And then another thing was, the minister said some things. And let me mention this so we can talk about that. So in a briefing, he said, the information minister said, the government is doing everything that they can do to handle the situation. And you don't know why people are panicking when they have not seen escalation. Those are exact words. When they have not seen escalation. When they have not seen an act of war. Listen to the two things though. He said, you don't know why the people are panicking when they have not seen escalation or when they have not seen act of war. So there were a few takeaways. I want us to look at it from that situation. The minister said, the information minister said, you have not seen escalation. People cross to your country, stop every activity. Is that not an escalation? People cross in and even shoot one of your citizens. Is that an act of war? The people come in and using drone, flying over AFL deployed territory, looking for area of strategic importance. Is that not escalation in an act of war? So I want us to look at it from that part. I don't know what your view to it. I will speak a little bit, but I want to hear from you on that part. I don't know if you listen to that, but we speak in general on the border situation. Yes.
Right now. As that situation is, first and foremost, I did not listen to that press briefing, but just my take on it, if any form of external aggression on the Liberian territory that is constitutionally defined as the role of the AFL, right, to defend the country against external aggression. So if this has been observed as an external aggression, and clearly it's been shown from the onset where we had the Guinean troops crossing over and planting their flag and the locals confronting them, bringing down the Guinean flag and hosting the Liberian flag back. So that clearly is a form of encroachment right there.
Yes.
There's some form of territorial dispute right there. I don't know whichever way we decide to handle it peacefully or not peacefully, there's a form of territorial dispute that need to be solved. Okay, like I always say, my recommendation in this situation is a peaceful approach that the two governments will see reasons to come to the table and amicably resolve this. The people have suffered a lot in Liberia. Everybody in our country is thinking of rebuilding their life. Even we were kids that saw the war at the time, either we were either 3 or 4 years old, that saw the war from, we know the impact on the life of our parents. All right, kids that did not see the war and born after the war, I can clearly tell you that the life they live, they think that is the real way people are living. They think every day for you to get full HB, hustle and bustle. For you to ride car, you must sit down and ride keke. For you to finish high school, your crazy boom hair must grow and ramp up to you become maybe 30, 40 years before you graduate from high school. Or when you go to school, you should work for chair. And, this is what they were born into, and this is what they are living into. So they've accepted as a way of life, But prior to the war, people who lived prior to the war would tell you that no, this is not the way we live here before, right? And then we that have had the opportunity to travel, we can clearly tell people, no, this is not the way people are supposed to live. Your life's supposed to be better than this. You're supposed to have electricity uninterrupted. You're supposed to have water, open your shower and take shower and not bathing with bucket of water and wasting it on yourself. So all of that. So peaceful resolution to this situation is key when it comes to me approaching it. That's my approach towards it. But then again, when you talk about the press briefing, who's supposed to brief, I think the hierarchy of the defense should have said a word. Again, what would they say? They have not really been involved with the crisis. They have not been involved. You've not seen them in deployment. You've not seen them in maybe behind the scene. There might be some operational strategy that's been planned, which they could not talk about. But I'm just telling you, in terms of physical boots on ground, we've not seen that. So you will not expect them to give you what they've not done. So I think the local authority who've been handling this situation has been the one, having, as we know over there, immigration is under the Justice Ministry, the police is under the Justice Ministry, and all those other agencies other than the NSA that is independent. Most of those DEA and all of that all fall under the Justice Ministry. So because Liberia is still treating this crisis, which it should not be, they still treating it as an internal security situation. So they look at it as, okay, the security sector committed. I'm just saying it. I'm not saying that's what they say. I'm just saying from my own thought of it, right? And the way it has been proceeding, right? So they could come up and say, okay, from the way this situation has been unfolding, those security sector that have been committed to actually handle this situation are the one that can tell you what is actually happening. All right. The how do we call it? The defense side would be like, that is maybe kind of classified, that cannot be discussed, how the strategy is, what the deployment look like, and how many troops committed and all of that. They will not come out and tell the public, but I know there's something in the background that in case civil authority or dialogue fee defense strategies are there, nobody will sit down and you're having that kind of confrontation irrespective of the peaceful dialogue. I know people will be behind the scene strategizing, at even strategic level, operational level, and the tactical level troop will be there planning what tactics can be used, what operational resources are available, what strategic direction can be given to get our mission executed and all of that. I know those plans are being carried out, but it will not come out to the public to be discussed. So I think this press briefing, the Justice Minister was designated to give this briefing because he got his people committed to the mission. He got his people who got boots on ground. He got the people and the state treating it as, okay, we're not confronting this defense, even though with defense or military approach, we are treating it with diplomacy, and we are always going to showcase our civil law enforcement agencies. All right, so that's from the point I'm looking at that. Yeah.
So if
and then
sorry, so if you look at that is maybe that's why you said that's why they are looking at it from that angle. But you should understand that the Ministry of Information saying that there have been no escalation, that information is false and misleading. There have been escalation.
That was the next question I wanted to answer. You say there has been no escalation, and
there have been
situation as it is.
Yeah,
one thing I would say is it's frustrating for a farmer to plan to make his farm, and the year is coming to an end to plant their crops, and seeing foreign troops in their midst, instilling fear in them, and they cannot go on with their farm work. And I know that's exactly what's happening over there. So we cannot say I would disagree with that there has been no escalation. Escalation in what sense? You got to be proactive. You got to keep the public informed, about what the moves are. What is the government doing? We saw the government approach to reaching out to have dialogue with their counterpart. We saw the president addressing the nation, talking about using peaceful means, which we all agree with it, and it don't mean we are weak. So you don't have to tell the public that there has been no escalation. The fact that you are not affected directly don't mean that there's no escalation. A farmer in Lofana cannot go to farm. A farmer cannot go to that place that we're talking about where that flare is planted right now. Maybe that used to be some other garden over there. But that gardener or that farmer cannot go over there to make his farm anymore. So that person is affected. That person's life, in fact, that situation has escalated beyond any imagination to that person because that's their livelihood. It's almost like you are the justice minister and tomorrow you go to work, they say, okay, you cannot sit in the office. You cannot come to work. So what else you want to go tell somebody that because I've not received letter from this person, it means the situation not serious here? No. The situation is there. I don't know at what magnitude you want to see before you know that it's serious, but somebody in Liberia is affected. That's the fact we should establish. A Liberian cannot make his farm, right?
Yeah.
There's even poor, if not, inter-country trade between the two countries. They trade so well. You know, you got your produce from Liberia across Guinea and go sell. The Guineans got their produce to come and sell. The locals are affected. Some of the farmers cannot share their produce after harvesting. So these are people that are affected. So that's why the other show the last time has said proactiveness is key. Sometimes you don't want to wait when something go out of hand and you're fighting to find a defensive mechanism. You know, but when you are always offensive, right, for anything to go out of hand, it becomes difficult because you are the one putting out that offense and somebody got to defend against your approach. So as it is now, mechanism should be put in place to make sure that the people already affected, you know, things can be put in place to make sure they gain confidence to go about their normal business. But you can't say it is not what you call it, escalator, or people are not affected. People are really affected in our situation right now, I tell you.
Oh, yes. So he said in his press briefing today, I mean, other people can go listen to it in his statement. He said, I don't know why the people are panicking if they're not seeing escalation or they're not seeing act of war. So I don't know. Maybe you see that one of the different, maybe you don't understand what escalation is and you don't understand what an act of war is. Because crossing into another person's territory and even shooting, even crossing over another person's territory is an act of war. Talking about coming to shoot or fly or drone is an act of war. So let us look at the issue of right now, right? Our have gone for break. And you still got an ensuing border crisis. The crisis at the border have not stopped. Maybe it just decreased a little bit. You see Guinea right now expelling Sierra Leoneans. Remember that the border crisis started with Sierra Leone and Guinea first. And today, the Guinea president expelled Sierra Leone. More than 5 former Sierra Leoneans were deported out of Guinea today. And he's doing the same thing with Ivory Coast, trying to expel the people out. So we haven't bring it to Liberia yet, because I know.
Yeah, one thing I want to tell you about that is he knows his own reason why he's doing it.
Good.
But if you're expelling other Africans from your country for whatever reason best known to you, know that your citizens are also in Liberia and they live there, they live in Sierra Leone, they live in Africa, they live everywhere. So
yes.
Expelling other people for whatever reason best known to him, well, it level the decision makers to see what approach.
Understanding that the guy is out for something else. You don't need rocket scientists to tell you that guy is out for something else.
Well, whatever
else,
he's up to, one thing I would tell him is you be careful. You be careful because everything you do in that place there, you will account for it. Oh yeah, you're not the first person to prove muscle before.
He shot somebody that didn't account for anything. No, he sees the machine that with him didn't account for anything. No. So I'm trying to say that Liberia, the government is handling the situation with lot of don't care attitude. I would say that because the citizens they are panicking. People can make their farm. That whole area now have become a buffer. Nobody can easily go there. You get what I'm saying? The people that were there are internally displaced. They're not even to that place. But the Minister of Information is saying that he's not seeing no escalation. He's not seeing no act of war. Why should the citizens be panicking? So that is very, 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 very wrong.
No, those statements can be paraphrased and say in another way. But I would just tell you that the the fact that he's not affected don't mean people are not affected.
And let me quickly read his statement from previous days that he said. He said something again concerning this. Let me read his previous statement that he said. He said, and I quote, "I see people on social media expressing anger, saying our territorial sovereignty is being encroached upon and that the government is not doing nothing. If you believe nothing is being done, would you like to volunteer so we can to go and address the situation yourself?" That was a statement he made.
Who said that?
Information Minister.
No. He
This
should not.
is a statement he made some time ago. There was a statement he made some time ago. Look at.
No, that is not giving public confidence.
He just giving public confidence.
That is not giving public confidence. If we say we using diplomatic means to resolve a situation, you still got to keep giving the public confidence. Because what you just did could escalate the situation. Because a farmer, you saw those locals how they confronted those Guinean soldiers. If you say we're not doing much to settle the problem, and a farmer cannot go to farm and make his farm, that farmer knows that you're not doing anything to solve his problem for him to reinstate his life to where it was before. So to that farmer, you're not doing anything to settle his problem. And if that guy decides to take law into his hand and make himself vulnerable to armed soldiers, what will you say? Because you coming as a spokesperson of the government to make such a statement.
Yes. Yes.
So you got to be careful with what you say, irrespective of how you angry or what people say on social media. You have to be careful how you say it, because if you just come out and talk vague like that because you're angry, people not appreciating the diplomatic approach, somebody who is directly affected or the person who was even shot, their family could be like, okay, so this is why you're saying this is the approach we will take. We got our machetes, we got our single barrels, we know how to maneuver our way, we'll start ambushing these people in the night and be beating them with motor stick or whatever we can do. Those people could start to take law into their hand because you saw it. It's because of the government approach by telling them, wait, we'll approach them through diplomacy, going to Conakry and having discussion, the president speaking and reassuring them that we are not lazy, we are using diplomatic means. These are the ways you should keep talking to the citizens to reassure them that something is being done.
He's expressing,
and you cannot get tired of reassuring your citizens because they are affected. You cannot get tired and get frustrated.
Yeah, instead of the Minister of Information reimposing confidence in the public, he is providing cheek. What a man called cheek. He's checking the people off.
You cannot do that. Somebody is affected. Somebody was shot in that situation.
So let me read a comment. This is from Alfred Saber again. He said, regarding the land issue, this is my take. Liberia is out of peace. Liberia is out for peace, and I believe our leader will do all it takes to ensure peace is the last resort. Remember, we are seated at a position that requires peaceful posture, despite our land has been encroached upon by Guinea. The UN non-permanent seat at the Security Council placed Liberia on a telescope, and the world is watching us. We have all means to resolve this peacefully. We have the AU, the OAU, ECOWAS, UN Security Council, and Traditional Council. So there was his comment on that issue that he gave.
I agree with Alfred, and I remember the last time on the show I told you, I said that irrespective of what these guys are doing over there, that the government just use the available channel that are to their disposal. There are lots. He just listed them. Those channels are at the government disposal, and the incursion is a signatory to those what you call it, bodies, agreements of those bodies. He's a signatory to it. So if the rightful approach is taken and really pursue or follow through, people will be called to court, and people will come to survey whatever it is, and the fact can be ascertained. And the other day I told you it happened with Nigeria and Cameroon with the Bakassi Peninsula. Nigeria troops were over there, even when we were cadets in Nigeria. The troops were there, and every time casualties were being recorded. At the end of the day, that confrontation was not settled from the battlefield. That confrontation was taken back to court, and it was investigated, and it was found out that Bakassi Peninsula belonged to Cameroon. And Nigerian troops, out of frustration, they hoisted down their flag, they pulled down their flag, for it, and back up from Bakassi Peninsula.
Yes, but
so those facts are there. I just don't know. I agree with those affected, even with just the analogy of Nigeria and Cameroon. I can tell you that people were affected. Locals were affected. The local community in that place was seriously affected, and that crisis even took longer year. It took so long.
Yeah, it took long.
But the approach went on. It went on. We just talking about civilians, troops lost their lives, equipment and everything went down in that place. But at the end of the day,
they're not sending police there. Cameroon, they're not sending police there.
I agree. So this is what Liberia is doing. That I want to minimize the loss of life. I like the approach the government is taking. The unity, I can tell you, is the government should not get tired assuring public confidence. They should not get tired that the statement of the information minister is totally wrong.
Yes.
Local statement is not even come out at this time. People are affected, farmers are affected, just local trade in our region is affected. I mean, just a lot of things cannot go on over there as it used to be.
The people
people even over there do intermarriages. Who knows who and who across the river were planning to get married. Now the kind of wedding cannot go on. The people culture, they do cross border society and all the kind of different things, different initiatives into those local societies they have there. All of those things, the people enjoy their life and their culture over there. But all the things are on standstill. So you cannot sit down and tell a local that lives in a particular region that they are not affected, or if they think the government is not doing much, let it take on and go and fight. You already saw those dudes. They took their cutlasses and were confronting those soldiers. And they have guerrilla form, malicious form, and at the end of the day, a whole part of the country become ungovernable by the same people because of this investment and people seeing that government is not doing much to handle that issue. That have people break away and form faction and ground themselves, and in that particular region becomes so hostile that you can't even look at today the situation in Nigeria. Today we're talking about Boko Haram. Is Boko Haram is foreign to you? Our dream. How Boko Haram started to 2009. We went Nigeria 2007. So we're in Nigeria when Boko Haram started.
Yes.
So how it went?
Yes.
If nothing has not been done, public confidence, reassurance is key. You got to continue to reassure the citizens. You don't need to get tired or you don't need to get frustrated about what is saying on social media.
From the statement that the Minister of Information is putting out here now, from his statement that we can deduce that he's getting frustrated and then he's actually getting tired. You can't be telling the people that if they feel they're not doing well, they should volunteer to go there and go to it. It doesn't make sense. And you cannot be telling
you already saw the people volunteer before. It was because of you that told them don't do it. But look at already. I'm telling you. That was the same region that we had local defense force. Local defense force was not a conventional army. Nobody should tell you that was part of AFL. That was a guerrilla group that sat down and organized themselves to defend their land. So don't forget. You don't sit there and keep getting kicked to the people and keep making them to feel more frustrated from the situation they're dealing with. You more earn your salary coming in your bank account. You live in a luxurious house. The car you ride, government pay for it. The fuel you use to power your generator is being paid for. And those guys labor from the owner to the E-front, and is the labor from their land. Is the labor from our land at the E-front. Is the labor from our land they send money to their children in Morovia, in Banga, in Bonjama, who are there going to school. It's from that farm that they produce crops from and sell before they can even send money to their children in Morovia to say go to school. So the thing he's talking about the trickle-down effect is me affecting somebody in Morovia. It's affecting a student right now. It might even be affecting a pregnant mother. A father might be in the village there while his daughter is pregnant in Montreal, that he needs to support that daughter, but he cannot even make fun. So
Yeah.
you got to conduct public reassurance and continue to reassure the people that the approach the government is taking is the best approach, and we're going to get our desired result, irrespective of how long it's going to take. We're going to get our desired result and start funding mechanisms for those people who farmland were affected to the local government to see what area they can get temporarily relocated to make fund for this year, while that disputed area is being evaluated and is being discussed, or resolution method is being negotiated.
We're not even hearing what the government is doing for the little internally displaced people, because the people are taking from that area.
Yeah.
The internally displaced people, there is no information as to what the government is doing. If LCCC has been going to help, or if there is an internal mechanism that's been put in place to help them, we don't know yet. But we'll dig into that one and get there. I mean, my brother, I think time has been fast spent. We have taken a lot of time from our audience. You can wrap up on you can give a parting statement on the show. Remember, we're talking about 3 topics. You can give a parting statement, and then we can call it a day for today.
My parting statement will go that I'll start from the first topic. Whatever you do in life, if you keep doing good, keep doing it. And critical decision making, sometimes you'll be confronted with it to make critical decisions out of in your interest or in an interest that is far bigger than you. It could be national interest, organizational interest, just something that is far bigger than you. Sometimes you'll be confronted to make decisions, and those decisions sometimes you will be judged by them. So as humans, we should kind of be careful with how sometimes we proceed with some of those decisions that we make down the line or as we move on with life. That's why I'll say about the first topic, and I don't support just unnecessary redundancy in terms of position. Like creating this ministry and you create this sub-ministry and all of that, just these are redundancy, and it takes money from government coffers. So I'm against that. The country is so, what you call it, constrained in terms of money and all of that, mechanisms should be put in place to effectively manage the available ones that are coming in. And with the second topic of unemployment, there are a lot of areas that government can tap in to increase employment, youth employment especially. A lot of areas. Let me tell you, even the military, we're talking about the army. The army is another big area of employment. Yeah, it's a very big area of employment. You just need to use it effectively. Just look at maybe somebody's carrying home $7,000. I just said, I say my whole year pay when I over there, I think as a captain was pretty close to maybe $6,000 or $6,500. That was my yearly pay.
Well, you said the people are doing well. That's the kind of your definition for well there. If you take $6,000 an hour for the whole year, what I want.
I'm not saying people are doing well or they are not doing well. I just made a comment that we will do something at the end of the day. We'll make a decision that will come after us. So let's be careful with the kind of decision we make. So I don't want to go back to whether they are doing well or they're not doing well. As of now, has it changed? As of now, our captain making $1,000 or $10,000 whatever it is, it still remains the same or basically the same. Let me say so. So when it comes to improving employment over there, I think the opportunities are there. Like the other day I was talking about taking the army and deploying the army to a gold mine. That is the same redundancy we're talking about. The army be using other area while you compare that company that you're deploying the army because of insecurity, so that company can adhere to proper labor practice so that their workers will not get agitated. And even if because of worker agitation that you want to deploy the army to that construction area, that means that company is not doing something right. So that affects what they're not doing right and making our workers to agitate, that will even cause police not to control the situation. So you can even compare them to set up their own local security. Like I said in time past, Firestone had the Plant Protection Department. That is the PPD. Those of us who grew up in Firestone, who grew up, that was one of the lucrative jobs in Firestone. When your father was a PPD at the time, man, you know that, man, you are a top brass son. So those security guards were over there to make sure the farm was protected. You know, they did a checkpoint security, they did patrols, and, you know, they even did local law enforcement. Sometimes even when there was crisis in the camp, it's the PPD that even used to respond. Firestone was almost a police-free area. The PPD was so powerful to the point that some of us, when we came Firestone, we never even knew any difference between the police and the PPD. The police was just a little segment that was deployed somewhere in case of for reinforcement and all of that. But all those mechanisms that they were put in place is no longer working. At the end of the day, the army now is being used for gold mine, concession, you know, company protection and all of that. So other concession company is found doing something wrong in terms of labor law, right? Or they just don't want to increase manpower, which will provide another employment opportunity for you. Yeah. So even the cadet program, that could be another area. Cadet program in various ministries. That's how you build people, and that's why somebody will graduate from Liberia. The only thing they think about is to get white collar job, they want deputy minister job, they want assistant minister job, they want representative job, because they never been groomed into the civil service. You know, through the how do we call it, the cadet program. And why you said that, he said during our time we paid $35. I agree with that. We went to Nigeria as cadet, young high school graduate. We saw what it takes to serve, you know, with no benefit, in fact, because $35 could not commensurate my life with the kind of brutality I saw at that point on my life since I was born. I did not see it, and since at this age I'm in, I've never confronted such a hardship in my life, the one I saw in Nigeria. But yeah, that was the biggest sacrifice of my life, right? So if the cadet program,
let's wrap up,
if some of those programs can be instituted to make sure that people take advantage of it, they see that as nationalistic, they see that as patriotic, and, you know, serving their country, and they can build into it. Even if you look at these countries all around, Kenya, they practice cadet program, and at the end of the day, people are groomed through the civil service, and they grow up from director to just maybe from a local mechanic to becoming a director to becoming a deputy assistant minister and so forth and so forth. They can look at in that direction. Finally, the border crisis. Government do not get tired reassuring the public confidence. Continue to impose confidence in the citizens. Liberians are affected by that crisis right now. Some people over there don't even have food to eat right now as I speak, as a result of them not being able to access their farms. So somebody is affected. And if somebody is affected, if a Liberian is affected, and the sole responsibility of the government is to protect the life of its citizens, then statement like, if you are mad with the approach the government is taking, pick up arm and go and confront the encroachers, then the kind of statement should not be made.
Yep.
The kind of statement should not be made. Continue to reassure the public, continue to impose confidence in the public that you got this, you got it. The approach you're taking, we are going to win. I don't know how long it's going to take. We're going to win. And those affected, this is what we're doing to make sure you can resettle in another region and make sure to do this while we argue this in court or while we argue this diplomatically. So you got to continue to reassure the public, because sometimes what these government officials go on social media to see, they just see one person's statement. Maybe the person was in a previous government. They see that person's statement and they take it out of issue right there and try to react on it. And sometimes when you react on it, you think it's that person you're responding to directly. But no, that person is even living with you in Monrovia. He's not affected. The person you giving that chick to is the person that's in I know Bora who or what kind of river that bank of that river that is affected. How many of those people get fried chicken to eat? How many of them get mackerel fish from Morovia? It's on that same local river that they can get fish from. They can go and do their fishing to get fish from. So all of those things got to put into consideration.
Okay, my
brother. Let me start being here.
Yeah, let me hold you there, my brother. I said thank you. Anytime you come on the show, my man, we can exceed the amount of hour because you be just the guy. Oh God, I hope your uncle can make you a public relation officer. That would be good for you.
I have public relations, man. I have too much. I'm not a good talker. I'm not a good talker. I just kind of listen.
It was nice having you on the show. Let me let you go so that I can wrap up and then we can call it a day. Almost 2 hours. Can't be at more than 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. Thank you, brother.
I've not even reached my house.
Yeah, have a nice day. We hope to see you again on subsequent show, brother. Okay, so there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Just to wrap up. Sorry, anytime I bring the PV man on the show, anytime I bring Captain PV on the show, he always try to prolong the show, make the show long, because he'll be justifying for Brandon Samuka by all means. I don't know. Anyway, they say that he loaf brother or something, or that he former boss man. But I will tell you, just to wrap up on the show on the topic we've been talking about, on the first topic, creating parallel institutions, I think the government should do better. We don't want you creating parallel institutions in Liberia that will perform the same functions. You can't have public works and you're creating yellow machine board. Put the yellow machine on public works or put the yellow machine on the Ministry of National Defense, specifically on the engineering battalion. And I can show you with those two places, employment will be created. You will have effective monitoring, effective implementation of the government project. You don't have to go and create yellow machine board by taking another group of people. The government already complaining about the salary still being high. You still get a lot of what you paying. Then you bring in criminal Brandon Samuka then. Man, I stole the AFL our money when we were in the army. He stole our money without our consent. He did all kind of things. Say he used our money to go buy a uniform. And my money is all used to go buy AFL uniform. Are you crazy? Which military in the world does that? Take my money, say you want to buy a uniform, you prepare the you to go Mali. Can you imagine that kind of bull crap? That's what Brandon Samuka said to the court. So those are criminal people with criminal intention. And I don't even expect President Joseph Boakai of all of this timing in government, in fact, all this kind of thing to even do business with this kind of guy. And people that Samuka that still his name is still ringing that kind of deadly bell in the ears of national security interests, in the ears of Liberian citizens, to have people like this coming back in government and to come and control one of our biggest assets we have right now. That yellow machine, one of our biggest assets, whether you like it or not. The yellow machine has a lot of work to do. Opening farm to market road, opening feeder road, connecting major roads, smaller roads to major roads, connecting farms to market, all kind of work that machine has to do. So taking people like Brandon Samuka that has criminal track record and putting him over such a thing, I don't think it's a good idea. The president is a man of wisdom. I believe that at some point he will see the show or somebody might have told him something about it. Those are not the good people that you want to bring closer to you. No, those people with that kind of record is wrong. You don't want to have them on your side. So we don't want you to have parallel institutions. Liberia Agency for Community Empowerment and National Housing Authority doing the same work. Those are same parallel things they're doing. The Ministry of Transport and the Liberia Transport, Telephone, and other useless name the board that is now producing a lesson plate, producing a driver lessons and permit and other stuff for our country. So you have two institutions. So they put the Ministry of Transport, just go in the morning, play checker, play Ludo, Ecobo, go and come out from work. You got to get nothing to do because you have created parallel institutions. So we need to stop that if we must be able to provide to keep money in the covers of our country, our wage bill. You're supposed to even be merging some of those institutions or creating more. Merge some of them, bring some of them together. Send the functions are almost the same. Dissolve the yellow machine board thing, put the thing on public works, or put it on the AFL. The AFL will manage it well. I can guarantee you that. And then when it comes to youth employment, so many areas that you can focus on. Agriculture is one of the biggest places. If you see other countries, they are saying that other countries are rich. Other people are rich in other countries. It's because of agriculture. America, the great men that are rich on the side, farmers. Farmers are rich. China, Asia, all the places there. Farmers are really, really making money. So in order to do that, you have to empower the agriculture ministry. And you see, when it comes to agriculture, it is not just farming. It's not just only going to build up pepper, rice, and you know what we're talking about. Even the Ministry of Fisheries, the Fishery Authority, we got something called fish farming, fishery and aquaculture. Those are all that can boom the agriculture sector. You got fishery and aquaculture. You got the board, the how we call them? Something association. I will call it. Can you imagine those people? I don't even see what they're even existing for. You call them Liberia corporate Liberia cooperative development. Yeah, the CDA, the LCD, Liberia cooperative development authority, LCDA. I don't know what those people are there for. No cooperative has been formed. When people, I'm a farmer. I speak about agriculture because I'm a farmer. I have a very big cocoa farm in Liberia. And I got people working for me. I have a big cocoa farm. So the cocoa, I got mixed cropping, cocoa, cassava, different kind of crop, oranges, plantain, different things that we put together on our farm. And we have other farmers around us that decide to join us to form a cooperative. We have sent in our application, pay the fees and everything up to today. CDA is yet to look at our paperwork, more than 2 years. So you're supposed to be encouraging people to work on agriculture things, but nothing is happening, and that is so wrong. And youth and sport, there are a lot of youth programs. You can focus on sporting. If the government pumps some money in soccer, put some money in basketball, put some money on it, it can create employment. At least at the end of the month, the youth going home with small money in the pocket, it will be okay. It will take the youth off the street. It will take them off the street. And then you will see the country begin to move in the positive direction. So we are calling on the government to focus on youth empowerment. Think outside of the box. Get money. That money that Accelerator gave you for signature border, that $200 million we spare to put it in the agriculture bank so that farmers can use it. One bag of fertilizer is around $65 to $70 US. How many farmers can afford that? How many farmers can buy fertilizer? I'm saying that because I had to buy almost 200-something bags of fertilizer for my farm. I do that every time. It's expensive. If I'm not in America, I can't do it. If I were not in America, I can't do it. If I can't even make farm, it's not impossible. So the people in Liberia, except other than politicians, I'm talking about politicians because political farm, they're getting free money, free gas lift, free everything. They convert it to the farm. The farm is not bringing no proceeds. So those are political farms. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that want to use agriculture to better the economy. Government should provide kind of subsidy. Make sure that you get how they call the people here, Liberia Institute. How they call the people lately? The people that are responsible for creating all the formulas for farming and things. And you know, their work is to come up with things like fertilizers, things like fungicide, pesticide. They're supposed to be able to do them, come up with the kind of thing that will be able to help. And you know, that will be able to help the farmers. That's the only way we can be self-sufficient. Like I said, if you can't feed yourself, you can't defend yourself, you are a fool. For those that have read the book, The Gods Are Not to Blame, you understand why I call it fool. You are a fool. You are a fool. A bigger fool. If you can't feed yourself, you can't protect yourself, you are nobody. So, government official, please do the right thing. Help our youth get employment. Let them stop being political hallelujah boys behind you. Let them be able to feed the family. A lot of youth don't even know how much 1 lot of land costs. A lot of youth don't even know how much 1 acre of land costs. They don't know. They don't even know how much a bag of cement costs. They don't even know how much for 1 block because they're not even dreaming in that direction. People are focusing right now how to even get food to eat. Then you talk about house building, you talk about family. It's hard, and the government needs to do something about that. And our last point to this, the border situation, we understand that the government is using a lot of means to do it, but this should, that of diplomatic means, this is the opportunity that the government should use right now to empower our military, to build our military strength, to focus on military architecture, military hardware, build the military, get us arm and ammunition, get our equipment, science-based, technology-wise. We need those things, communication, get our drone, get our other stuff that we can use to better our armed forces. Buy someone a small airplane, open the air wing so that we can get air superiority over our neighbor, just as they do too. Just as Guinea get helicopter or they get small plane, let us do that. Allocate money. The government right now should be allocating funds that will empower the armed forces right now. Talking about Zoe, talking about training, manpower development, talking about arm and ammunition acquisition. But we'll not see that. We're not saying that you go and fight Guinea. But this is just a tip of the iceberg that Guinea have brought to your doorstep. This thing can go out of hand, or another of your neighbor can do it to you. So the government must open their eyes. The government must work in the direction of the citizens. Defense will be our first and most important strategy right now. Our legislature gone on break. That's an insult to the nation. When the country is in crisis, they are not finding solution to the crisis. They are going on break. They went a low-far stop somewhere very far from the crisis area in the name of they want to hear what's going on. And there were big money allocated for that kind of trip. Can you imagine people using the detriment of the country, the detriment of other citizens for their self-aggrandizement, for their personal benefit? That is an insult. That's the reason why I will be advocating for people with security and military background to go in the legislature. We'll be supporting people that are former military personnel, former police, former custom, former immigration that has the ability to lead and govern, to go and become representatives, to go and become senators, to campaign. I know it's very difficult because how much money people make that when you leave police, you read army, you can be able to run campaign with. It's difficult. It's a difficult situation, but we'll be supporting them, we'll be campaigning for them, advocating. When I hear any ex-serviceman, ex-police, those ones running, when I'm in Liberia, I will try as much as going to the district to provide some support. And because it's very important that we have ex-service people in our legislature, they can make better and sound defensive decisions for us. They can make defensive decisions for us, other than people that just want to run around, make money, and eat here and there. And to the Minister of Information, I will say this. People are I'm not saying it because I'm against you, but I'm saying this because you are a public servant. You stop becoming emotional. Stop becoming erratic about something. Stop letting small things get under your skin. You are the government spokesperson. When you're speaking, it means that is what the government is saying. Stop using insult, small cheeks on your journalists. You think you're speaking to the journalist, but you're speaking to the general public. So stop using cheeks. You cannot be there saying if people feel that the government not doing what you can, you arm them so they can go and fight. You can't say that. You can't say that. That's an insult to the people. That's looking down on the people because they are not in authority. A few days ago, you and I were right in Philadelphia that you never had any power. You're moving around like an ordinary person. Every decision that people were taking was affecting you. Today, you're supposed to take decision now to affect people. But if you're doing the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, thinking that because you are in a position of authority now, and you think that's how it's going to be forever, no, you're making mistakes. You're making mistakes. Joseph Baga, how many years you think the government has, and you're still a young man? You don't want to do that. You don't want to make people to start looking down on you. You're doing a great job, but you have to keep your emotions down. You have to keep focused on the objective and start allowing small things to get under your skin. You can't be telling the people that they are not seeing the situation escalating. The situation has gone beyond escalation. Encroachment to your country is an escalation. Coming in your country and shooting somebody on your soil is an act of war. Deploying drone is an act of war. And you're saying that you're not seeing nothing, no escalation. You're not even seeing any act of war. No, it's wrong. Maybe you don't understand the diction or the choice of words you're using there. I know you understand the word, maybe, but the literal interpretation maybe is not what you are looking at. But I will tell you that your posture on that, your defense on that was wrong. You have to renegotiate your strategy. Come up with a better approach. Come up with a more convincing approach. There is, like you said, you have my colleague saying it. In the kind of situation, you have to continue to give the public trust. You have to give them reassurance that the government is doing everything. Don't be frustrated and be using words that are not okay. And finally, our government must be approving fundings, must be approving money to increase the strength of our military, to empower our military. But it's not just gun, it's not just ammunition. We're talking about science and technology. We need all those technology things, communication. We have to be able to see what our neighbor doing. And, we have to be able to get intelligence. Now see, look at our borders. Our borders are porous. So porous. People can get crossed in at any time. So I have taken a lot of your time. I apologize. Like I said, whenever I bring the Pee-wee, Captain, whenever I bring my colleague, Captain Pee-wee on, we take a lot of time. And, and I apologize for that. The show was supposed to actually be for an hour, maximum hour, 30 minutes, but we have exceeded 2 hours. So I appreciate everyone for the time. I appreciate you for being with us. We pray, share the live, subscribe to our channel, Liberian Voices Unfiltered. You can share it. People will watch it later on. People will be able to comment later on. And when we come back for a subsequent show, we can talk more about it. So I appreciate you for your time. I appreciate you for your effort. Continue to support us. Yeah, sometimes we know the show can be, coming up with some noise and things, but bear with us. And we are doing this in the interest of Liberia. We appreciate you for the time. We say thank you and God bless you. Until we meet again, I will say ciao.